All right, you guys, welcome back to the channel. You already know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Now, okay, the average person doesn't make six-figure salary, right? Let alone while you're incarcerated. How many people do you know incarcerated that actually make six-figure salary? There's people that can't even pay their bills, yet losing their jobs weekly. You hear about all these mass layoffs, and all of a sudden you lost your job while an inmate is pretty much living rent-free but making six figures. Let's go ahead and tune in to the state of Maine and their new system.
Preston Thorpe is a self-taught software engineer working remotely for a San Francisco-based tech company.
I guess I have an advantage because I have very little distractions.
Thorpe also happens to be an inmate at the Mountain View Correctional Facility in Maine.
I have a purpose now. Like prior, I had nothing going for me, and I had been a drug dealer for years.
Thorpe is one of about 40 residents here working remotely for various industries.
He was a drug dealer for years. He had no purpose in life. He just wanted to make some money, right? Well, guess what? Now he's back to making money again. And he probably makes more money now than he was selling drugs. So why sit in a cell and waste while you could be building skills and prep yourself for release? That way, financially, you're already built up. You don't have to move in with no fat bitch with 5 kids. And, you can pretty much stand on your own legs. Especially if you're not in the state of California, which will be too expensive once you do get out. Anyway.
Across the country, at least 3 other states, including Kansas, Ohio, and California, allow some inmates to work remotely. Interestingly enough,
California is the only state on the West Coast that's allowing this. And they said some inmates, not all. So my assumption is if you're spending the rest of your life in prison for a murder you did, you're probably not going to have this chance to do this, because what's the point? You're never getting out of jail. So why do you need six-figure income just to be in a cell? I'm saying maybe if you're in prison for like maybe 5 to 10 years, maybe you have the advantage of doing this. But California and Maine are the most expensive states out of the 4 states listed on here that you're able to do this. Surprisingly, they should have added Texas and Florida too. But anyway.
Maine is at the forefront, according to the Alliance for Higher Education in Prison, requiring inmates to first complete higher education and comply with the case plan set by social workers.
We've taken it to the next level where we, allow and encourage individuals access to the internet.
That work netting at least one inmate a six-figure salary. But per state law in Maine, after taxes, 25% of the earnings are put towards paying restitution to victims. 10% is set aside for prison room and board.
Why should someone in the prison system be allowed to work outside the prison walls, so to speak, and make a six-figure salary?
If people really care about victims and survivors of crime that are owed money, the way that we do that is we provide meaningful work for individuals that are incarcerated so they can pay down those debts.
Thorpe earning enough to buy a home.
I mean, if I was not paying him market rate, I think he wouldn't be able to do that. He's doing quality work, by the way, that people with 20 years of experience can't do.
Thorpe is on the verge of...
So my thing is, if you're able to do this from a prison cell, you should be able to do YouTube and everything too. I mean, make all the money you can and prep yourself for release. That way, like I said, when you get out, you can stand on your own 2 legs. You don't have to rely on a woman that's receiving government assistance. Because, see, that's what a lot of these guys do when they get out. Because there's a lot of this red pill rage and red pill YouTubers on here talking about guys that trick on women and women that get women for free. Well, if it wasn't for this guy doing this work from a jail cell, when he gets out, he'd be looking for those very type of women. Because what money do you have just getting out? Not having nowhere to go, not having a leg to stand on, not having your own money. But with this guy, it's the complete opposite. He doesn't have to rely on that.
Finishing his prison sentence, knowing he'll leave here financially stable and employed. Ryan Hopkins is about halfway through his 42-year sentence. After earning a bachelor's and master's degree behind bars, he now provides remote tech support.
Look at those screens in his cell, and let alone, he doesn't even look like the type that'll be in prison. Like, he looks like your typical person heading to the office.
created this system with AI to create the tickets and all that. Then I report everything here on Slack.
Hopkins will be in his 60s by the time he's released, working now to fund that eventual future.
Now I feel like I've started my life in here. The transition's going to be much softer.
Thorpe's outlook on life much different than when he first arrived.
I had pretty much like resigned myself to that I would never have like a family or, you know, like a normal kind of career, and all those things are like within reach now.
I want to give them opportunity to be successful and to give back to the community inside and outside of the facility.
And like I said, this is kind of offensive to somebody that's getting laid off and they have nothing. Like, just think of the average person that can't find a job to support a family, yet you have a single guy in prison that doesn't have any family or children, yet they're making all this money and don't have to pay rent or a mortgage. So it's kind of backwards right here if you think about it. So I'll say half of this is good and half of it is bad. And some of the money is still being taxed, and it's going to help, you know, the victims in whatever crime you did. Let's say you were involved in a robbery, you took something from their house. Somebody has to pay for it. It's either the taxpayers' money or make the prisoner work off some of that debt. So nothing is never really free if you think about it. It's coming out of somebody's pocket. Just because you didn't have to pay doesn't make it free. It's free for you because somebody else paid for it. And that goes to the guys that trick on women, or the guys that have wives and have to take care of a household. Because the biggest trick is a married man, especially if he's a provider and the household is not a 50-50 household. If the guy is paying most of the bills, that's pretty much a trick. Because if you stop paying the bills, your wife's going to leave you. People don't want to hear that. But anyway.
Connection to the outside world and a window to the future. Valerie Castro, NBC News.
Yeah, that's very fascinating. So federal inmates should be able to do this too. Not just state prisons, federal prisons as well. And like I said, this opportunity is not open widely to everybody. Like I said, if you have life in prison, why should you work knowing you're never going to be able to get out and live a normal life and start a family? But like I said, this is a genius idea though. Making a 6-figure salary and not having to pay rent yourself. The taxpayers' money is paying for your prison cell to be there. Just like when you get admitted to the hospital. When you're in the hospital room, when you're in a patient room, that's thousands of dollars a day that you're admitted in that hospital, that your insurance is paying for, if you even have insurance. If you're through a county program or something else, Medi-Cal, Medicaid, that's coming out of taxpayers' money. It's never free. It's just free for you. The working class is paying for that. But anyway, I hope you like this video. This is Kai Vale. I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.